saw it again. You really saw it all season long. And, unfortunately, we are not a team that can afford to make a mistake, and then we come back and we rebound, and then we score 3 goals. We're not a team that does that. And, you see when you make a mistake, you make another mistake, and the floodgates open, and, the games get out of hand quick. So I'm starting to see that a little bit more clearly now, and I'm not panicked. I'll check in with Mike in a second, if you're panicked. But right now, you were feeling good, but then, those were 2 costly games, especially when you had one of them, you were at least guaranteed 1 point. So, Mike, I'll ask you, what is your temperature right now with this team? Panicked?
I'm not panicked anymore. Honestly, Steve-O, I've just accepted that this team is not going to win the cup this year. Listen, will they? uh, I don't think you can panic, once you've accepted your fate. Um, but do I think that they should still be making the push to make the playoffs? Absolutely. This is almost like an inversion of 2022 or 21-22, where we weren't expecting them to go far, and then they did, and that was exciting. And then there was almost like you weren't panicking during the season; you were excited to see how far they went. This is almost like they collapsed in the middle of the regular season. So now, if they make the playoffs and they go on a run, it's almost like a match of that excitement in 22. It's a bizarre place to be in. But no, I'm not panicking. These are two of the better teams in the league. Granted, Colorado probably isn't as great as they probably would have been in the past. Colorado, now that they've got Rantanen and Hall on their team, and we'll talk about that trade in a second. I'm not saying you expect to lose to this team 4-0, but the Rangers had multiple high quality chances that they could have capitalized on, and they didn't, and that's why they lost the game. But at least they had those chances. I feel like if you took the team from like mid-December and put them in this game and they lost 4-0, it would have been because of horrible turnovers and just they wouldn't have any effort. We would see nothing from the Rangers. At least they made an effort last night. Again, did they capitalize? No, but at least they made an effort, and I guess that's why I'm not panicking as much.
Mike, I want to chime in here because I love what you said about the 22 squad and how kind of that like caption of how did we feel about 22 versus 24, 23, and now 25. Well, I like what you said because there was a game against Carolina where the New York Rangers only recorded 8 shots on goal and they won 1-0 in 2022. They then went on to defeat them in the playoffs. But at that time, there was a lot of questions like, well, was we really ultimately scratched that game out? And now it feels like the opposite. If this Ranger team had 8 shots on goal in a game, I mean, we'd be holding, like Steve-O said, services for them. So I think it's weird that flip of the coin where at that time it was this come up and now it's, the bar is this high. So that has certainly affected, I think, the perception of this team this year.